Hello everyone! I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Guild Wars Week 25, Day 3. It is a brown day. And today, probably just going to be sticking with the Gorgolfa Corvash combo. See what we can do with that again. Hopefully we will not get trolled by Krakens because we don't really have a good way around that. Let's see. Let's go through all the chat. Hello Henny, hello Bridget, hello JZG. Hello Amanda, hello hello Dinos Gavor, hello Joseph, and hello War, welcome all. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that, Bridget. Ouch. Yeah, that definitely does not sound like a good birthday, but oh well. Hope everything goes well with all that. Yeah, my birthdays have been pretty average. Not really, like, bad, luckily, but not really good either. Let's see. Well, let's not use that. I almost just clicked that. I almost clicked it. Almost. Not this time. Actually, I have yet to misclick, though it will happen. It will indeed happen eventually. So let's go up against this. Luckily, we're going to be seeing a lot more uniques as the week progresses because people are starting to catch on that they do need to use uniques. Hello Chargers, hello Adrian, hello that's all of them. Big question, please help you. Are there are the bonuses, penalties in Guild Wars based on attack matches, color, unique, or defense, or both? It's really confusing. I have no clue what you're asking with that question. It's based on everything. So I'll go and explain that in one moment. I need to be out of the battle to really explain it decently, though. So as soon as we finish this battle, I'll try to answer your question. If you could reword it, do so, please. Not quite sure specifically what you're asking, but I know what the answer is. I don't understand your question, but I know what the answer is. So I'll go over that in 1 second. Let's see. I'll go take the reds there. Move the green over. We don't need to do anything with that. So we'll just let it die off the explosion. We're going to keep the famine for when we actually need it. Right here we can just pick him off the kill right there. And that's enough to get the kill. And more. Whoa, way more than enough. Wow. Okay, so we'll just throw a High Forge for some damage. Get a Corvash, get some damage. And good thing he still stuns. That's helpful just to make sure he has 0% chance to revive. I could throw a Skull right now. He's not stunned on first slot though, so I want to wait on that if I do go for it. And yeah, now we can go for it. So we'll go take the Skull Poke, and now we can just famine into anything. Actually, you might as well just get full mana on High Forge, and then that's match, as long as he doesn't do something weird. Okay, he pokes us for a little bit of damage, and there we go. Okay, let me reread your question. Please help you. Are the bonuses penalties in Guild Wars based on attack matching, color, unique, or defense? Both. It's based on both. And here's how. 2,000 of your points are based on your defend team. Basically, what you have to do with your defend team is make sure that every single team across all 6 of them use unique troops. So all of these need to be completely different troops that you use. They don't have to be related to the color of the day. They just have to be 24 completely different troops. Doesn't matter what they are. And every single day that you use those unique troops, you get 500 per troop for a total, of course, of 2,000 if you're using a pure unique team, which is ideally what you want to do, because of course that gives you just basically 2,000 points for doing essentially nothing other than setting your defend team as something unique. As you can see, every single one of these are completely different troops on different days, and none of them repeat at all across all 6 of them. So that's basically what you have to do. So you can't have any team with any multiples, and you can't have any multiples across any of the 6 teams. As far as invading, there are several factors that determines points. This is a lot more complicated as far as what gets calculated. The main thing you need to know is you basically need to build a pure color team for every single day. So if it's a blue day, you need to build pure blue. If it's brown day, like today, you need to build pure brown. Tomorrow, pure green, so on and so forth. All 4 of your troops basically need to be that color for you to get the full amount of points possible. And other than that, things that factor into how many points you get is in how few turns you end up winning. And that counts actual moves. So if you keep extra turns spamming, that technically counts for the same amount of points as if turns were actually going by. The amount of damage that you do to the enemy relative to the amount of damage the enemy does back to you. That is put into consideration. Any troops that you're missing are put into consideration, so if you finish with 3 out of 4, you will get quite a bit less points than if you were to finish with 4 out of 4. Do keep in mind that resummoning a troop still retains that full amount of points, though. And other than that, the other factor that gets coupled in with points is how much mana you end up generating relative to the enemy team. So within a battle, aside from using a pure color, that comes down to how much more mana you do, how much more damage you do, and do you survive on everything, essentially, and how quickly you win, are all the factors that get basically calculated up when you go and do the battles. As far as the exact calculations, we do not know, but those are the things that end up going into the consideration of your score. So I think that answers it. So if you need me to re-explain any of that, let me know. Okay, so you would just make a team for a brown day, for example, on defense that is anti-brown. Yes. Your defend team for brown day would be just an anti-brown team. It does not actually have to include brown. It just has to be anti-brown. It has to be able to beat someone who's using a pure brown team, but it doesn't need to be a pure brown team. Okay. Also, our win rate has been pretty bad so far on our defense. We ended up doing 312, then a 4 whatever it was, and then another 4 whatever it was. I think it was 411 or something like that. That's what we're at right now for both of them. Okay. Yeah, the defend team system, it just came out, so a lot of people aren't aware of it. It's going to be probably another week or so. This Tuesday was the first day, like 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago, was the first day that it ever took effect. So a lot of people aren't aware of it yet. People are starting to catch on, though, as you can see. So far, every single battle we have done so far today has been a completely unique battle with completely different troops. So it's kind of nice. We're not seeing the same things over and over again. Also makes it slightly easier because we don't have to deal with like super overpowered teams. We will occasionally, obviously, because some people will happen to still be using some of the really good synergies against us. But for the most part, we should be pretty much good to go on most of the days. Once we get to bracket 1, that will be even more so, because right now in bracket 2, we're more of a target to a lot of people because we're generally going to be one of the people that ends up likely making the top of the bracket. But in bracket 1, we're a lot less of a threat because these days we haven't really been hitting that high. Oh, I forgot, they fixed stealthy! We haven't really been hitting that high, so they would see us as less of a threat and would probably set one of their weaker teams against us, which would be kind of nice. Okay. What to do? I guess we just go straight into the yellow to explode out that way. I'll let it take a skull. You know, that would be enough damage to kill it. You know what? I'm going for it. We don't use the purple, but we get the kill, which was the main objective there. We can take red to brown. Red surge to kill. Oh, or that. Or the blatant move just sitting right there. Oh, and we still got exactly what I wanted from the previous take, so it all worked out. And then we could just high forge into explosion into famine win, because we'll have so much mana by then. Oh, 3 mana short, of course. Corvash, you are not enough damage, so basically just take yellow, throw famine win. Seems to be the plan here. Is there no way to take green? Because yellow surge is not enough mana. Yeah, there's no way to take green. I'm just gonna have to go for it. And again, there's no way to take green. That's quite unfortunate. Nor yellow, which is the other color we need to cap out here. The hunt for the one color we need. Actually, a couple. Yellow surge would work. There we go, perfect, and that's enough to kill. Way more than enough. That was like a 80-something right there, because of all the mana I had. Let's see. Also, hello, Strawn! Welcome. Let's see, did I miss anything else in all that chat? Hello, Fly Cuts! Welcome as well, sorry. Sometimes you get caught up in the questions. Let's see. Wait, he's won 3 wins? Yeah, it's, yeah, it is 3 wins, 10 losses, as Strawn mentioned. Wait, never mind. Wait, which way is it? Because people have been saying it one way and the other. I still haven't actually figured that out. Because it would make sense if this is win-losses, which is what someone mentioned before. What I initially thought it was, this is how many wins you have out of how many battles. But it kind of makes me think that it's how many wins and how many losses. Someone mentioned this earlier too. But it would make sense because I am currently the second in command in this guild. which means we should basically have 15 battles every single day. It might be off by 1, but assuming perfect RNG, we would get 15 battles every day. And if we look at these numbers, 312, 410, 410, that's exactly 15. So that has to be wins, losses then. 3 wins, 12 losses, 4 wins, 10 losses, so on and so forth. So it's not like 4 out of 10, it's actually 4 out of 15 if you're looking at it that way. Yeah. So that's just win-lose, essentially. There's really no good indication of that here. They should probably put some kind of graphic, because there's really no way to tell, like a WL mark or something there. Because it definitely looks like how many battles you've won out of how many total you've actually achieved. But, yeah, based on that, it looks like it is indeed win-losses. Yeah, I have no clue why they have it like that. It's a lot of things that they still have in these visual interfaces. Like, they made it to be simpler so that people could understand it better. And in doing so, they made it more complicated and harder to understand. I don't understand their logic. Ended up making hot chocolate earlier. The problem is I made it so hot that it's still... still can barely even sip it. Let's see. Well, I'll go and move that over. Also doesn't help that I overfilled it like crazy. I hate when I do that to a mug. Let's see. Skull. Do we worry about it? I think we do. Though we don't have any mana. Well, we might take mana. Actually, I think we ignore it for now. Oh, never mind. I didn't even see that. Perfect. Okay. Well, we get to take it and the mana. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Where to move, where to move, where to move. We'll go take a, I guess, red surge over. And then we can go for skull into backline. Because this skull I definitely have to take because of Scion pressuring us at the top there. And this I just need to throw because we're going to lose basically all of our mana anyways. We'll get rid of that. He gets to drain. And now we just need to worry about the rest of the board. So do we go all in on Gorgoltha? I think the answer is yes. No, the answer is no. The backfire. Okay. What's the game plan then? I guess we try for random skull. It's not a random skull. Oh, actually it is, because he ended up going for the drain instead. So we'll go for the skull poke. We'll get a nice explosion. And now we have the annoying famine to deal with. We'll just move that over. That over. And all that's doing is fueling him with even more damage. We could take a yellow to skull, but since famine's pressuring us, there's no point in doing that. It would just make him do more damage. So we'll just go for the single poke. And how do we rush from here? I should probably block the Ragnargord in every single move I do. The Ragnargord is going to be more helpful than the famine itself. The famine is going to be the ultimate thing that makes him win, if he does end up winning. But I need to make sure every move I do stops the Ragnargord from getting that mana, and he already just got his mana, and he got an extra turn, and at least it didn't fill famine. Okay, so that could have gone a lot better, that's for sure. Also, hello, Tobias. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You can have 1-0 if you check it soon after reset. So yeah, it is indeed win-losses. Yeah, we came to that conclusion too with the 50s. But yeah, it is definitely 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, a win-loss counter. Okay. So let's go take a brown surge. He'll get skull distracted, hopefully. Perfect. Oh, he got rag. Well, we got to make sure we get our famine. Yes! Okay, we won. What do we go for, though? Oh, which one do I go for? I think I hit the famine here. Because that's the only way we're really going to lose is the famine. So might as well just take them all the way out right now. And yeah, that's pretty much match at this point. We'll just go Gorgoltha. That'll give us a little bit of our manas, and we can just keep going from there. Get ourselves a Corvash. That'll be the double denial that we need. Get a Gorgoltha after. All that. He'll just take a skull. Get some greens. Get the reds over. I forged the Corvash. Oh, never mind. We don't have Corvash. Into the troop we do not have. I gotta throw that down. Get a famine poke. Or golf. And random skull for the kill. Perfectly fine. Hello, unlucky Tony. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also, hello, SBM. Welcome as well. Okay. Oh, a Sunbird. Haven't seen much Sunbird play. It is actually really good. I was expecting this thing to be pretty average, and I guess it is kind of average in a way. But it has some synergies that I wasn't really expecting with it. And the fact that it can keep basically reviving is kind of nice. Particularly since you can use it as a frontline tank, which is exactly what he's using it for. Because you can just keep summoning it over and over and over again, since it just keeps killing itself out and coming back. Okay, we'll take the green up, get that down. Take that into a bunch of other stuff. Take over skull. And then take purple, the brown, blue, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Go through a nice Gorgulfa. And as long as he doesn't go crazy here, we should win already. Cabarrus could be a little bit annoying. The fact that he has a giant spider right now is also quite annoying. So much so I might famine it. Yes, I am going to go for famine on the most annoying thing he possibly has, which is his summoner. And now we get our red storm from him, actually. That is even ours, that's his. And that's going to help us some. So we'll go take that. Oh, that is distracting. They might need to change that. I didn't even notice this. Did this happen before, or is this just on this version? I never really paid attention to this. But does anyone notice, like, this thing is starting to block the actual gems? I don't believe it used to do that. Unless I'm going crazy. But has it always done that? Blocking, like, the bottom 2 gems there? Because for a second I thought there was, like, a 4 times there, but then it's like, oh, never mind. But it's because of that little animation thingy. Anyways, let me throw a high forge here. And we go into Corvash. Oh, don't Giant Spider. I have no counter to that right now. Yeah, it's gonna have to happen. There's no way around it. Oh, never mind. Oh, now there's a way around it. No, there's not, because we still don't have famine up. I can throw another explosion and hope we get lucky. Yep, that was lucky. That was not the former lucky we needed, though. But it was indeed lucky. Okay, I am going to go for that yellow, actually. Because that'll give us the mana we need off this explosion to go get famine. So first things first, get the Corvash down. Then we go for that. Now we have famine. And now we pretty much just auto-win. It's only a matter of time. And then we get the Corvash poke. Go from there. Okay. How on earth does he already have that back up? Just to get rid of it, let's just do that. Double Corvash. Oh, I didn't take the red. Fail. But we can just throw Corvash there. I was expecting that to be enough damage. It's actually one off. The fail of not getting magic all the way up. We'll just go for another explosion, and that is a match right there. We'll take it for a Cascade just to get some mana to keep our points up. And there we go. Sunbird is not good against Keeper of Souls and Cabarrus. They have, yeah, because they have the summon. And the death that it does on itself, it does actually count as a death. So it does trigger their traits. But against all other things, it's pretty decent. It's a tank. And here we go. It's not like a werewolf, though. With a Sunbird, it actually kills itself, so it counts as a proc for the enemy team if they have a trigger that activates whenever a enemy dies. But with something like a werewolf, it transforms, which doesn't actually trigger the whole death animation thing for troops like that, for Cabarrus, for Keeper of Souls, for Justice, for all the other ones that do something when an enemy dies. It doesn't trigger for transform, but it does for Sunbird, because it does actually technically die, even though it's just making itself back again. When does the 3-year anniversary come out? And any word on the content? I have not heard anything new as far as what they're going to be doing. I think they're kind of keeping it a surprise. As far as the exact date, it's kind of hard to tell, because there are literally so many dates that could be considered the 3-year anniversary of Gems of War. But based on how long they have taken, based on the fact that it's already towards the end of October, I believe they, and also what they said on the stream, I believe they're waiting for the Steam release date as the ultimate 3-year anniversary. And the Steam release date was on... One second. We ended up doing a week-long stream for the last anniversary. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I said my first week-long stream that I would never do a week-long stream again. Then I did another week-long stream for the second anniversary. And then I'd never done one since. So it's been over a year since we have done one. Also, that is pretty funny. Gems of War on PC went from having like a anywhere from like a 80% approval rating since this patch down to 38% during this patch. People do not like the new interface. That is for sure, at least on the Steam side. Anyways, what was I looking for? Oh yeah, the release date, November 20th. So if they are going by the Steam version release date, which I believe they are, November 20th is the 3-year anniversary of Gems of War, technically. Even though it was kind of already out before then, but I believe that's the date that they're going to be rolling off of this year for the anniversary. Okay. Where to move? Where to move? Alright, we'll move that over. Any console getting Merlantis tomorrow? Our console's getting Merlantis tomorrow. I have not heard anything confirming one way or another on that. I sure hope so. Did you guys get the mini patch yet? Because I believe you guys needed the mini patch before they were able to actually release it on console. So if you guys have gotten a patch since the most recent major patch, like another mini patch, then yes, I would say yes. If you haven't, then I'd probably say no. But yeah, there was a mini patch this week, which I didn't really go over much on PC and mobile. I'm not quite sure if it applied to console, but if it did, then I can almost guarantee you guys are getting it tomorrow. But I'm not sure if you guys did or did not get it, because they needed that little mini patch in order to be able to release on console. Because what they accidentally did with the most recent patch is I'm not quite sure exactly what they did, but they messed it up in that the kingdom was unselectable. So they couldn't release the kingdom to console because it would literally be unplayable. You wouldn't be able to get into the kingdom, which kind of defeats the point of even releasing the kingdom, so they didn't. It'd be too broken. Oh, you guys did? So yeah, you guys are most likely getting it tomorrow then. No promises though. I haven't heard anything like 100% stating that it is. But it did say like right as soon as that comes out, they'll probably be able to do it the Friday after. And this would be the Friday after. Unless they're just going to wait one more week just to make sure they have everything in order. Go through Highforge there. Let's see. Get ourselves a famine? Yeah, we'll go for famine. We'll just throw it on front line. And then just work for the final a little bit. And that will be match. Battles, I do like seeing a lot of uniques. We didn't get to really see any repeats. Not a single team. It's finally starting to take effect. We didn't see a single team that repeated. And every single one used completely unique troops. So that's pretty cool. It worked. The unique team things worked. No one's copying and just throwing the meta every single time. We can actually see some unique stuff. And that also passively makes it slightly easier as well, which is kind of nice as well. But there we go. Whoa, they've done a lot of battles compared to us. Why is their thing all the way red? Doesn't make sense though. It says 137 out of 150. It's all the way red. Yeah, ours is 116 out of 150, and it's not. Okay, anyways, how's the ranking going? We're not in top 2, though we have a lot of battles we haven't done yet today. And Holag, come back! We'd instantly be, like, secure going to bracket 1 again, if, or back to bracket 1, I should say, if he was to actually play his battles. Because it's really close right now. We'll see what happens, though. Anyways, we'll go to the dungeon, mess around with a few other things, and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. But yeah, if there any questions you guys have, anything you want me to go over, let me know, and we'll definitely make sure to do it so. Let's see. You wish you could say at least fixes are coming soon, TM. Yeah, there's a lot of things that still need to be tweaked, that is for sure. Particularly on the balance end of things. Okay, so let's go just into dungeons, get those done before I completely forget. We haven't yet, but it will happen. Let's just go run, let's run 4 times dragons this time. I always run the pure purple spam thing, just because I absolutely love using the Element Grim team. Element Grim is probably my favorite troop to use as far as Mythics are concerned right now. It would be Guard's Avatar, but he doesn't work with all the Krakens around, so I just go with the other alternative, which is just spamming them with full AoE purples, and then they go down to 0 attack, and then you kill them with everything. Works out nice. Oh, let me take those blues. Really wish this legend was slightly more viable. I don't even think it's the legend that's particularly bad. I just think it's Submerge in general. Submerge and Disease, I wouldn't mind. Actually, Submerge, Disease, and poison. I wouldn't mind getting a buff. Actually, almost every stats effect. Now that I think about it, there are so many stats effects I feel like need a buff. The only ones that don't really need a buff are Silence, Death Mark. Let me see. Silence, Death Mark, Freeze, and Burn. Those are probably the only stats effects I don't feel like need a buff. I think. I guess Hunter's Mark is fine. The problem with Hunter's Mark, though, is basically nothing has Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark isn't that bad, it's just nothing too viable has it as an option. Like, if they gave it to something viable, then you'd see Hunter's Mark everywhere. It's not an actual bad stats effect, it's just nothing good has it. Like, for example, if Dragon Soul just randomly put a Hunter's Mark on first slot, then yes, that would obviously be ridiculously strong. But if you do, like, an Orion trying to put that on first slot, is ridiculously weak, because one Dragon Soul is basically an Orion cast, except it hits everything. Orion does such little damage, and the damage he does do is very random. And he generally overhits, or he'll underhit, which is really bad. He'll either overkill with a way over the number that you even need, or he'll constantly underhit because he has such a long range of damage that he ends up doing with every cast. It works only for mediocre guilds for top 3 brackets. One, you'll pretty much seeing same meta because everyone sets up against each other. Wait, which one was that for? But yeah, a lot of people towards the top do use the same meta, but now that there's the whole team thing... I should use Shadow Dragon there. I believe people will start switching it up a bit. Also, a lot of people haven't communicated with each other, like, what to use every single day. So, not everyone is spamming the same thing for every day yet. It's going to be at least a couple weeks before that starts to happen, if it even happens. And even if it does, at minimum, that means you're really fighting 6 teams, approximately 6 different teams, which is better than before, because before you'd be fighting, like, 2 different teams with, like, 5 different variants. Now you'll see about 6 different teams with each having probably at least 2 different variants of their own. So you'll get to see at least a lot more. Even if people go down to the most minimal amount of possible teams, it would still be variety, since not everyone's going to run the exact same variant of every single version of a team for a specific slot. Not to mention if they run something for one day, that could make it so another day needs a different alternative troop. And a lot of people will switch out into different ones depending on what they do or do not have based on mythics and stuff like that. Alright, well, let's go get some damage out there. Poison, maybe get a buff next Friday. Oh, wait, are you serious? Already? Oh yeah, there's the Mythic guy. Wait, he's coming out next Friday? Hold up. Oh, you mean next Friday. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like tomorrow next Friday. I was like, wait, what? But yeah. I wouldn't really say that's a buff to poison. That's just a troop that happens to be really good when the enemy is poisoned. But, yeah, that is coming on what? November 3rd? Yeah, November 3rd. Hey, that's one day before my birthday. Hey, what day is my birthday falling on this week? I haven't even checked. It's like right around the corner. It's Saturday, November 4th. That is 9 days from now. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. Sweet. That is a lot closer than I thought. I feel like the entirety of, like everything from, like, near the end of October to basically the end of the year just flies by like crazy most years for me. We'll just go Dragon Soul and that's match. Let's see. But yeah, I don't know how big of a buff that would really be, that new Mythic. The problem with him, if I'm last checked, he's only a single cast. It's really devastating, but single cast is not really going to get you too far. Let's see. Yeah, it can only be cast once, so you can only ever really have one on your team. And it's only really like a... if they happen to not be poisoned, his ability is basically a higher mana cost, single cast Kraken without a Devour chance. But of course, if they are poisoned, you literally just got a double kill off of his ability. So it really just depends on if people are running poison immunity a lot. And if he starts to become too big a threat, everyone's just going to start using things that have poison immunity. I believe about 1/5 of all troops in the game 1/4 or 1/5, somewhere around there, have immune to poison in some way, shape, or form. So it's actually out of every single immunity in the game, there are more troops with immunity to poison than anything else. It's not even close. I think poison immune is like twice as much as like the second highest immune. No clue why they made it so ridiculously higher, given how weak it actually is. But that is the case. So something like him, who only does really good against things that can be poisoned, is going to be a bit limited, because all you have to do is double last slot into troops that can't really be affected by poison, and then boom, you just won. So yeah, we'll have to see how that really pans out. I don't feel like he's going to be as overpowered as he looks. Like, is this saying like, oh, he can instantly kill 2 troops. That sounds really overpowered. But you have to keep in mind all the things that actually counter it, which probably will make him not viable. And it seems that he can work against, he's probably going to be ridiculous, but in the good majority of battles, like for example, right here, we'd only get 1 kill because he has impervious last slot. A lot of people are running impervious last slot right now too, due to how many Krakens there are, which will indirectly make him weaker at the moment, given that that would make it only 1 single kill that he could get instead of the double, which of course is not favorable for him. Yeah, I know, all the dwarves have fortitude, all the undead have that, what's it called, the undead army thing? I don't know what it's called. The new trait that all undeads got, that too has immune to poison. Let me see, what was it called? Alistair, what was it called? Undying also has immune to poison, and this was given to every undead in the game, which is like 20-30 troops, not to mention all of them with the other immunity. So yeah, it comes out to like 80 troops or something with some form of immunity to poison, like 80 to 100, somewhere in that general ballpark. Yeah, there's a lot of things with immune to poison. He is not going to be able to get much off in that regard. Okay, so what do we have for starting board here? What do we have? What do we have? I don't know which way I want to take this. I guess I'll take it this way for the double blue chance. Of course, we don't land it. We didn't even land a single one of the 2. But oh well. Go try for browns here. He took some off the board, but oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Also, I like the interesting team he's using. That actually wouldn't be too bad for Guild Wars. The only problem is that would use too many vital troops in one team, I think. This is kind of interesting. Okay, anyways, I need to go get this guy up. There's no browns to take, though. So it looks like we're going to go the rock troll route. Can't really go for a yellow because it's going to take way too long. I'll go for a skull here. But then again, that was kind of a waste given how much we've already been reduced. Probably shouldn't take any skulls actually for the rest of the battle, simply because of how much he has actually reduced us down, which is definitely not good. We'll go for a purple here. I'll give us the double on brown, but since, yeah, I think that one miss we did at the beginning just set us way too far behind in this battle. It does look like it will be over. I also can't go for that because we're frozen. So let's move that down. I did not get the surge we needed. So this is as good as done. He's going to die to that right there. And he got the extra turn. And he's doing what we should have done to him. Okay, that is definitely over. He got way too much app value out of us missing brown there. We basically, all that happened here was we basically casted a perfect rock troll for him instead of us getting it, which absolutely crushed us. Yes, he is a 30 mana cost. He will be the new highest mana cost in the entire game. Quite a few of the mythics that they're going to be adding soon have ridiculously high mana costs, which is kind of interesting because it does make them more like bosses, where they have they are like super charged, overpowered abilities, but they can only be used either once or just have a ridiculously high mana cost that you would never really be able to get it up in most instances. A good majority of these troops I feel like will be pretty bad, mainly because full mana drain exists and there is no counter to full mana drain. So the cheapest full mana drain in the game only costs 9 mana, and there are several troops that can do that. There's also one that has a 10 mana cost, the Cockatrice, which can loop it. So there's anything that starts to get like over 25 mana is pretty much going to be useless, because at minimum all you need is just a Cockatrice and boom, you just keep throwing it at it and it's never going to get to do anything. Not to mention it will get entangled if it can be entangled on top of everything else. But you'll get a full drain on it, you'll get an entangle on it, and you'll get to create an absurd amount of browns because the boost ratio is based on how much mana you drain. And if they have like 30 mana or something, 25 or however much they might currently have, that is a lot of extra browns. I believe it's a 1-to-2 ratio or 1-to-3 or something on how much mana they have. I actually forget off the top of my head. Haven't used them for a while. Been sticking with Gorgolfa for the most part, but it's definitely pretty decent. And it's something that early game people will be able to use too as a counter to it, which is kind of nice. So everyone will really have access to it. Alright, well, throw Grim down. And just keep going from there. Ellie. Another Ellie. And that is match. The World Breaker guy is supposed to be like 35 mana cost. Yeah, that is going to be just insanely high. I really don't think he's going to be viable with that high of a mana cost, to be honest. It doesn't seem like it's going to work. Yeah, I hope everything gets better with you, Bridget, with that situation. I know how the feeling is. Hasn't happened in my family for a while, though. It happened to me a lot during my childhood. So, in one thing, that was kind of somewhat fortunate, because now, later on, I don't really have to deal with it as much. But yeah, it's always pretty heartbreaking when someone does pass. Let's see. Oh, what's it go for here? Somebody just go for some yellow or something. I'll just move that over. Oh, for instance, oh wow, he actually missed. Oh, there we go. Too bad we don't use blue. I might need to start making a different counter team, like a proper counter to the double Kraken, aside from just using double Kraken. Because I believe that was the longest running counter I was using against. It's like, oh, what do I need you do to beat double Kraken? Oh, just double Kraken. Let's see. That normally does work, though. Okay, he's got a double green. There's almost nothing for him to hit on. So he's likely going to miss. Let's go for some purple. And he does indeed miss, though he puts a bunch of useless greens that we don't actually need on the board. So nothing we could really do with that. The amount of browns are pretty small, but he doesn't... Oh, wait, he does use it. Well, good. We didn't miss. And we'll just double the purple, and if that hits, we win. Got it. We won. And that is match. One more into... Oh, wow. Long Cascade for a map. They really need to do something with maps. Every map is like, ooh, a map. It's like not even interesting. It's like, you got a reward of nothing. Of a... Hey, Celestial Trace done. Of a map that you'll never be able to use. Because you have so many that you'll never be able to use. Let's see, how many maps are we up to? I have by no means have the most maps, but... we have 2,772 maps. There are some people with over 10,000. It is absurd. If I play, let's see. If I was to play 10 maps a day, it would take me almost a year. Because I'd accumulate maps too during that time. So it would take me, if I played 10 maps a day for every day for 1 year, I wouldn't even deplete every map I have. Because I'd be accumulating them too during that time, and by that point, it would basically just break even. So yeah, that's not happening. So I didn't even realize I had that little notification thingy there. That kind of explains it. Interesting. Though it doesn't actually show you, it doesn't have that little tutorial page thing anymore. It just has a little thingy now that goes over top of it, which I guess kind of makes sense because there's like a question mark. It's like, oh, what's this? And then you click on it. I felt like it explained it better earlier. Not to mention, I don't believe there's any way you can see the rewards of an arena where you used to be able to before. So it's like, yeah, there's this mode, but what does it give you? Yeah, even once you get in, it doesn't tell you what you get. Wait, where is the reward page? Oh, show arena rewards. There it is. Well, let me retire this. And I'm kind of curious. Does it instantly put you into a select screen without showing you the rewards? They might need to look into changing that then. I don't believe there's any way to check the rewards beforehand. So here's Arena. Let me go to Broken Spire. So here's Arena. Here's where you would normally go. There's a little thingy, but how do I check the rewards? There is no way. Yeah, there's absolutely no way to check rewards prior to going into your Arena run. You don't even know what it gives. You just blindly go into Arena like, oh, sure, we'll go do this. I'm just going to draft whatever. But yeah, it doesn't actually show you the reward until you get to the page, which is kind of odd. You might need to look into that. Actually, I should probably go mention that on the forum. That's a pretty weird oversight. There's literally no way to see the rewards of Arena prior to going into Arena. Kind of odd. I guess that's kind of fine for Treasure Hunt because the display for it is really obvious as far as what everything gives. But for Arena, that's definitely not anywhere near as clear as what Treasure Hunt is. Okay. Well, let's go move some reds. Go double the brown, hopefully. If there's any other anything you guys want me to mess around with or need help building teams or anything of the such, feel free to leave them in chat. Tomorrow, if it is indeed console getting Merlantis, we'll probably be messing with quite a bit of Merlantis stuff. Also, it is still Merlantis week on PC Mobile, so we can be using Wave Rider as well to go get ourselves all of those extra trait stones. Not really something I need excessively, of course, because we already have more than we'll ever know what to do with. But the more the merrier. You never know what they might add. There might be a need for them in the future, beyond what they're already used for. Though at this point, honestly, I don't think they're really going to be adding anything that uses trait stones. Let's see. We'll go Elamagrimnat and get one more little poke. And that is match. Actually, let's throw the other one. There'll be 1 damage store otherwise. It doesn't for any of the 3 mini games, so it's not a big deal. Wait, what's the 3rd mini game? There's dungeons. Well, dungeons tells you. Wait, 3. How do you figure? Let's see. Treasure hunt, it doesn't, but it shows you on the flash screen. Arena, it definitely doesn't. Dungeons, it does, because if you go into pillage, it shows you right here. And there's no reward for Soulforge. It's just crafting. So yeah, for dungeons, it definitely does. For arena, no, you have to actually go through the draft itself. For treasure hunt, I guess you're somewhat correct as well, because technically it doesn't show you the reward beforehand, because now we're in the battle itself. But it's showing us the rewards towards the side, like, oh, here's all the stuff. Also, I haven't actually played a treasure hunt since they made the new screen for it. Interesting. They did fix it slightly, as you can see over there. They still have those weird boxes, though. It's just now they're grayed out instead. That's really odd. I have no clue why they even have those boxes to begin with. I don't know, they just seem so weird. Why would you put random boxes like that on the side of the screen? There's pretty much no point for them, other than to indicate that a troop would have been there, but I think that's pretty obvious, given that most battles are 4 versus 4. Maybe as a newer player to indicate that, but that seems like a really weird thing to add just to show a new player that there are 4 slots on every single team. Oh, I could take an F for 5 times. I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, I could take an F for 5 times. Well, I did actually still get it for 5 times. I don't even know what we're doing at this point. Treasure hunt, what are you doing to us? Struggle of rushing through it too quickly. Let's move that up. Go move that one over for the other one. Yeah, these icons are pretty small too. I remember these being a lot bigger than before. Also, they did finally switch those to the correct trait stone too. I think when they launched it, they actually made those the wrong trait stone. I didn't even notice it earlier. But yeah, they still use the previous trait stone. Alright, well, let's go move that over. And get our free turn right there. Get that moved. Get the cascade. Get the free turn, or at least preservation of turn. Ideally, it's always best to get 5 times. 5 times of such ridiculously good value compared to 4 times or anything else. It's so ridiculously good. Gotta get all of them. 4 times KrissTigger, yes. 4 times KrissTigger for a blue day is excessively solid. It is very, 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 very decent. It's what I used to run a good majority of my days. I kind of stopped doing that for a slightly more consistent team. But if you're on more of a budget and you happen to just have a bunch of KrissTiggers laying around, that's like the simplest team you can make that absolutely devastates on a blue or a green day. Depending on, of course, which you want to use it on, or both. You can use it on both. There's no penalty in Guild Wars for using multiple on your PvP team. There's only a penalty for using multiple on your defend team. So, kind of nice, since you could just spam any overpowered troop you want to. Well, not really that KrissTigger is overpowered. He's quite a bit above average, as far as quite a few of his values are concerned. But compared to some things like Kraken and stuff, he's he's definitely not overpowered, but he's, as far as full AoE is concerned, he's definitely pretty top tier. Oh yeah, we get event gems from that too. I forgot about that. How many are we on that? I probably won't even bother. I do need to make sure I do more of that on my Let's Play account though. So I do need to get around to that. I really wish you were able to upgrade to Soulforge by doing Treasure Hunt. Because a lot of newer players do Treasure Hunt, but Treasure Hunt doesn't actually progress that at all. What was I about to go check? Oh yeah, the event things. I'm not used to these changed icons over here. Not to mention that screen doesn't go directly to it. Oh wow, we're still quite a bit away, but 20,000 gold, I guess I can go towards it. Though I think I'd get way more gold just from spending that much time in PvP. given how long that would actually end up taking. Let's see. They got rid of sword and men's room signs. Oh yeah, they got rid of the sword and men's immune sign. Yeah, they still have it in the battle, I believe, though. I haven't actually been paying attention to it. Did they actually remove it in both the battle, too? Let me see. We'll find out in a moment. Though we could probably just look back in the stream. Pretty sure most of you already know from earlier. I completely forget, though. Even though it's been in front of our face the entire time. Wasn't something I was directly paying attention to on the screen. Alright, we'll go throw that down. And oh, you said nah? Okay. Oh nope, they didn't remove it. The medieval men sign. Is that what we're calling it these days? Yeah, they still have them there, indicating where the troops were. Not really sure what they're there for. Let's see. Yeah, they're just not in treasure hunt anymore, which it was pointless that they were in there in the first place since there's no actual troops. Oh, we'll go move that down. Go take some reds. And what else do we need to move around? I gotta kind of have to take a skull here just to get to disable. And then start building up our mana from there. So over here, he's stunned right now, so I don't need to... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he unstunned for a second. Definitely don't want that happening, but there we go. Let's get that down. Not that many purples on the board, so we will Grim first. And we somehow managed the extra turn, very lucky. I wasn't even trying to, but we did indeed get it. And that is enough for match. Oh, no. Okay, yes. Those hit some really weird targets that he didn't die immediately, but luckily the explosion got the last little poke, and even if it didn't, the burn would have. Hey, an arcane. I didn't even notice it was arcane because it's pure red. Threw me off for a second. It looked like just like a runic for a second. But then I saw the face on it. They actually look... Wait, how different do the runics look? The pure runics compared to the... or I mean, the pure arcanes compared to the runics. Don't they look pretty similar? Kind of. I guess you would tell by the icon thingy. I don't know, the fact that they both have a circle is what throws me off. Because this thing has a giant red circle, but this one also has a giant red circle. The difference, of course, is the actual top of it. But if you look at like just the bottom and the bottom alone, like if you look at this thing from there, like don't look at the symbol, but look at it from there below, like that little small portion right there. It's basically the exact same thing. But yeah, if you look more towards the top, yeah, it's pretty obvious with the little skull thing, the two reds on the sides and all that. Pretty obvious that's a runic. I mean, the arcane, I mean, not a runic. These are the runics. Anyways. Have you made any guides on building teams around legendary cards? Yes. We used to do that a lot. I haven't done updated ones, so maybe I might start doing it again. But back in the day, I used to, every single week, basically do a video on teams for the legends that are in the drop pool, the event key drop pool for the week. I stopped doing that mainly because I had covered literally every legend in the game, but or pretty much every legend in the game. But we could continue doing it again, I guess. It might show some repeated teams from those videos back then, but some of those videos are like 9 months old or something. So obviously the teams now would be slightly different than what used to be made with them. But we could start bringing that back maybe. It's just normally on my Monday videos I generally cover that for the most part. I might not specifically cover the legend, but I try to incorporate it if I can. But yeah, we could start bringing that back, maybe doing the legend video every single week. The only big problem with that, though, is a lot of kingdoms. That was back when most kingdoms only had one legend, and there were barely any mythics. Now, every kingdom has a mythic, and every kingdom has, like, almost 2 legends, if not 3 or something. So it would be a lot more to have to cover. But we could possibly start doing that again. It would kind of make sense, because it would show people, like, what's in the event keys to see if it's actually worth doing. So we could try doing that. I just don't really know how many people would be interested in that, though, because quite a few of it would be repeats from the past. Not to mention, not everyone would even have the higher rarity stuff. Like, if I was to do it on the Mythic for every single time that there's a Mythic within the kingdom, most people might not even have it, so the video would be going to a very, very small minority of people. Let's see here. We'll go and take the brown to purple. Like, for example, next week, if we were to do that, I would have to do it on 2 legends and a mythic. Crimson Bat, the new one that comes out, though that would technically be covered on the Monday video, and Draculus. So I guess I could do one on like Crimson Bat, Draculus teams and stuff like that. Well, let's get the Yellow Magrim in. Get the... Also, Crimson Bat, Draculus teams are absolutely insane, by the way. That's actually one of the strongest combos in the game, surprisingly. And it's all in the event key drop pool next week. Alright, we'll just let him do whatever. It's pretty over. I don't normally use it that much, mainly because one mechanic that I generally say is pretty bad a lot is anything that ends its turn automatically at 100% rate generally is not worth using in almost every situation. So, for example, let's go over things that are strong right now. Wisp has a chance for extra turn, or technically automatic extra turn, not to mention on the board. Kraken, extra turn. Queen Mab, extra turn. Elamagrim, extra turn. Infernus, possible extra turn. Rock Troll, possible extra turn. Dark Troll, possible extra turn. Basically everything that has a possible extra turn is always better than just high damage output. Like, if there was a troop that did twice as much damage as Kraken, which there kind of is going to be, the new Mythic, not next Friday, but the following Friday, is basically a very, very large, heavy mana cost version of a Kraken. It's not as worth it because it automatically ends its turn. So, compared to things that don't automatically end its turn, it's just so... You get so much value out of cards like that. And as you can see, it's basically everything that generally gets used within the meta. All 8 of the troops within this battle are troops that have the capability of gaining an extra turn with their ability. And it's generally better to have a extra turn chance while doing like half as much damage as another troop than having no extra turn chance but ending your turn automatically. It's kind of like the same issue that Guard's Avatar somewhat has, because Guard's Avatar, while he does have a ridiculously good damage output, it's he has no way to get an extra turn. So he can be used with like a Alchemist Hellcat kind of loop team, but ultimately he has no way of really keeping that loop, because the second he casts, you have to end your turn. Also why Freeze is so annoying right now. Because it's the biggest counter to this kind of stuff. Though we're still going to win, because we just have the damage output. Or actually, no. Oh, we might not win. Oh, we can actually lose here. I lied. Yep. Never mind, scratch that. Well then. Rip. Well, I guess that's proving the point in reverse order. Because of him doing it. Let's see, it's still winnable. Especially if Queen Map dies to that burn, we have a pretty good chance of winning this. Oh, of course it doesn't. Really? You would cleanse to get that kill. You would. Rip. Hello, Allison. Welcome. Really? Well then. Also, I think he accidentally set his soul farming team for his PvP. Whoops. Also, let's go bring out our Wave Rider. I haven't even been like messing with him too much. Need to make sure I bring more of him. Hot chocolate. I need to stock up on hot chocolate. It's starting to get colder by me. Probably my favorite thing to drink during the winter. I probably drink more of that than water, which is probably pretty bad for me, but oh well. It tastes so good. And it's warm. Water's cold. And there's not really much point in drinking warm water. It would just be ill. Rather just make tea at that point. Let's we'll go and get a Rowan down. Get a green over. Float all that. And I guess we'll get the buff in. I don't even know if it's really going to come into play much here. Yeah, it didn't end up getting the kill, so it wasn't really that worth it. But if we could just get a poke, I guess it is. Ah, nope, we overkilled him. Oh well. And down it goes. And we get double Trait Stones for that, even though I clicked too quickly. Double click. The only problem now is if you double click on the bottom there, it instantly skips, which is good and bad. It makes it go quicker, which is nice, because you don't have to wait as long. But it's bad in that if you accidentally just have a habit of double clicking, which I do, on almost everything, you'll double click it and then it just speeds through the entire thing, and then you don't get to see what the actual reward is because you click too quick. Okay, well, let's get that on greens then. And throw that. What else do we need to move? Go and get ourselves a buff, or do we go for Rowan? I think we go all in on Rowan. Actually, probably could have gone for Explosion there instead. Would have been a bit better value. But, oh well, too late on that. We'll let him get the Entangle again. Not really much I can do with that. We'll get our buff first. The earlier we can get that, the more value we'll get. Nothing I can do about the greens. There wasn't any alignment unless I missed it. Now we'll definitely want to convert it if we can, and we can. So get those off the board so he doesn't have as many to use. Move that up, just get some of our Valk back. And we could throw another buff. Don't think we're going to need it though. That might even be enough damage right there. Nope, not even close. But we can go for our Explosion, and that gives us our Valkyrie into the final blow. And if he wasn't entangled right now, that actually would have been the final blow. But we'll go get our Valkyrie for the last bit of souls, which we actually could have gotten just from killing it. And speaking of killing it, down it goes. And we do get double trait stone, which is what I was trying to show earlier. And there it is. They're double. It's like the worst trait stone. Actually, I shouldn't say the worst. Minor reds, I believe, are still better value than all the other minor trait stones. The reason for this being is, I don't know if this is still the case. I would need to double check it. But I know for the longest of times, there was more red troops than any other color. I actually don't know for sure if that's still the case. Oh, excuse me. Now I'm starting to burp. That are hiccups. 1 to 2. Okay, what do we need to move here? This is a really bad board for us. Wow. Alright, let's move that. If he pokes us, it won't really matter much. As long as we can get rolling. And there we go. And now we just need to land this somewhere. And if we can land this, we're should be able to get this functioning. And yes, we can land it right on brown. One of the colors that we can deny. Probably want to aim it at green next, just so he doesn't have his doubling capabilities. We actually landed pretty nice extra turns there. Take every extra turn off the board that we possibly can. And that won't end our turn. And, well, obviously, if it's an extra turn, but you know what I mean, because of the freeze on this. So we'll go throw a Rowan down, get a nice Valkyrie the following turn, hopefully. We still have it on brown. I guess we'll go for it again. That was what our first cast was on. I want to leave the red so we can do that. Oh, good. The other extra turn saved me. Forgot that we were frozen on red, but not going to matter since we can just get that down. And then just throw Valkyrie into whatever, and that is match as soon as we get the Rowan. And, oh, nope, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Well, you got a lot of value in there, but it's not Guild Wars, so it doesn't really get to do much. Doesn't really count for much. And there we go. Anyways, guys, let's see. Have I made any guides on... Oh, never mind. I already answered that question. But anyways, guys, I believe I'm going to be... You just killed me on the Guild War thing? Or, I mean, on the defense? Nice. Yeah, what am I even using as my main defend right now? I think it's still the same one as always. Yeah, I'm still using the Scion, Rag, Famine, Death team. Which is I've pretty much always been perpetually using. What did it change your defense team back to your PvP defense team? Oh, there is a glitch with that. They are going to be situating that in the near future. There's a post on it on the forum if you want to go like report like your specs and everything like that. They're trying to figure out exactly what's going wrong with it because they have no clue. It's personally not happening to me. I haven't seen it happen a single time, but yes, some people are experiencing their teams resetting. So I have nothing to really say about that. I don't think there's any workaround that I'm aware of, and it hasn't happened to me, so I haven't gotten to like mess around with anything. And they're not aware of what exactly is causing the problem. So yeah, just contact support. Maybe just leave like what the issue is. There's also a thread on the forum where they're collecting data to kind of see like what on earth is happening with it. But yeah, something weird is. I haven't seen it happen to me once, but it is happening to some people. Not quite sure what to say. Just hope it doesn't get reset or whatever. If you find what exactly is causing the resets for you, try to never do whatever's making it reset. Anyways, guys, I'll be heading off for tonight. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Tomorrow we will be back, same time as always, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 13 hours from now tomorrow. Or, well, 13 hours from now is, you know what I mean. 13 hours from now, we will be back with Gems of War. We'll be streaming for about 4 hours. Hopefully, console will be getting their update. If so, we have a lot of Merlantis stuff to go over. Of course, PC Mobile already has it all. But, of course, console will be getting it, so it'll be very new to them. And of course, we'll kind of just go over all of the Merlantis teams again, most likely. Mess with Wave Rider in particular, since he is indeed 2 times trait stones this week. Stock up on some trait stones. Definitely make sure to just do that on this weekend if you have some free time. Great way to stock up on them. Just like basically throw a Wave Rider team on like a 1 trophy, some kind of Rowan team. You can even just keep repicking. You can do it in casual, so you can just keep repicking to the weakest possible team. Like that would have worked. You know what to do. Just go to like the weakest you possibly can. And of course I get like absolutely hard ones, but there, you could just go to something like that. That's ridiculously easy to beat. Go Wave Rider it, get yourself a bunch of free trait stones in record time, since it's so easy to kill down. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming down. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful night, have a wonderful weekend if I don't end up seeing you at any point. And I'll see you all later for the other streams. Thanks for stopping by. Goodbye, everyone.